hit the season finale for TI Racing in the IndyCar Series as we are at Birmingham, or just outside of Birmingham, outside of Talladega technically. But we are in the town of Leeds, Alabama. And the masters, as they say, of IndyCar racing. And what I mean by that is the scenery. Like, where do you see a spider on course right now? Oh, there's one. Give me the raid. No, this is Barber Motorsports Park. This is a track that was built by George Barber back in the day, and he was one that was a fan of nature. And, yeah, well, that's what he did. He built what they call the Masters of IndyCar racing, probably the most beautiful circuit you will see on any IndyCar schedule right here at Barber Motorsports Park. We welcome you in tonight to the final race of the season, the Grand Prix of Alabama for TI Racing in their IndyCar Series. I'm the captain, Chris Scala, joined by Gary Godso. As Gary, one last race here. Champion's been crowned, but that does not mean the racing is over with by a long shot. We have still got plenty to go here, and we're running a little late time-wise, unfortunately, but we're here, and we've got ourselves a fun race in front of us.
Yeah, they might be doing the long warm-up lap tonight.
That helps.
They're lining up right there. Unless you're doing a standing start with a pace car on the track, I don't think so. But, hey, yeah, this is, as tracks go, and new traditions are born with IndyCar post-merger. Some of those tracks have been St. Pete is for one, for
right.
sure. Gateway's kind of built itself a bit of a tradition. Barber in itself has built itself a bit of a tradition that anytime you now look at an IndyCar schedule, if it doesn't have a Barber on it, it's kind of incomplete. Before this track really just kind of hosted motorcycles in the bunch, but now that Grand Am, Rolex sports cars have been here, IndyCars have been here, you know, even with this latest push that you maybe see with NASCAR and the road courses, maybe we'll see a form of one of the NASCAR series is stopping here and everything. It's a very flowing course. It's a pretty technical course, but it has its technical parts, but it also has long straights for passing, so there's plenty of passing zones. It's not necessarily all single file. It has elevation changes. It has just about everything you name it. You need it in a road course that makes it enjoyable. It's not a monster road course like Road America. It's about half the size. It's 2.367 miles, but I think it's about the perfect size. And it takes about a minute for them to get around the place, and that's about the perfect time also on a road course as well.
It is a beautiful circuit, as you mentioned. It winds, and now I couldn't help but immediately think of the twisty corner on the back side of the track, the S's that go downhill into the right-hander, and pitcher in a stock car trying to go through there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Pretty much IndyCars straighten it out anyway, so they might be. They
I'm
might
not
have to
so
reconfigure
sure
that.
that's going to happen on that part of the course.
We got they are doing a long parade lap, so yeah. We don't see that very often with the road courses now. This will impact fuel mileage.
Yeah, a wee bit.
So we will see how that plays a role.
Yeah, 50-lap race tonight. As you see, Isaac Morris, the champion on the pole. First ever back-to-back champion in the series history. Stephen Larkamp will start second. Robbie Oddie, Kite Bommersbach, Cohen Evans, Dan Morera, Jim Herrick, Sam Blackwood. Herrick coming off a career best finish. Lester, Charles Baldwin, Luke Daniels. I think Joey Ladassour's racing. That's cool. If so, Joey, a French-Canadian driver. I'm looking. Yep, he's back there on the end of the grid. So, but we're going to be talking about something here in the next minute or so when we go green. Something that I was just announced to me about a couple hours ago. As we're going to break this news later on into the night about what TI Racing's future looks like. We're going to let Isaac break that in and stuff like that. But I was well aware of what's going on news-wise for TI for a while. And, Gary, you're in there obviously too. But what I was unaware of was what Isaac had planned tonight. Basically... yeah, so when we go green here, I'll explain what's happening. But before we do so, let's take a look really quickly at the points as they come up through the sweeping S's here. Before we get the green flag, Isaac Morris, as you see, has won the championship. Philip Lee, is that accurate? No, that's last season. Well, that's good, Scala. Good job on that one.
Yeah. But I do have him here in front of me.
Thank you.
Kite Bommersbach is pretty much sealed up second place with 339 points. So really the battle tonight will be basically a 3 or 4 way battle for third 3 of which are going to be against teammate versus teammate versus teammate. Larkamp, Blackwood, and Whitehouse, 246, 242, and 208. Sitting there at 6th spot is Dan Morera with 206, and Luke Daniels with a great effort in this campaign, a top 10 effort, 197 points. Everyone looking to improve their standing a little bit. We're getting ready to come to the green flag.
We are, and what we're about to witness is the last green flag of the career on the TI side of Isaac Morse. And what he's announced is that this is his last season. He's actually going to become an admin in the series next season, and this right here is the one lap he's going to run this whole entire race. He said he's going to do a celebration lap, and then he's pulling off the track. So we're going to watch Isaac here as the green flag has come out for 50 laps of racing. Now,
he didn't pass the news to Robbie. Robbie went ahead and passed him.
Well, I think this might be a little passing of the torch right here. Robbie Oddie, I've said this millions of times, especially this season, has got the potential to be another Isaac Morse. He's that fast, and he's got that much talent. The only thing he's got to work on is developing a full race. And what I mean by that is when he gets mad, he will add up the errors, and it takes him out of the race.
Like I said before, and I talk about this with the Indy fix races now that I cover for the.
Oh, off the track goes somebody there.
Kite. Yeah, it's Kite there, but he gets back on, and here comes
Isaac to pit road.
Isaac to pit road.
There it is.
But the races don't encourage patience, but these cars reward patience.
Yes, they do.
And that's the thing that most people need to learn is patience.
So Isaac is on pit road. His last lap as a IndyCar driver. He wins the championship this season and last season. He pulls out over 20 wins in his career for this series, which is by far the biggest. And that's some other cars on pit road here. Jim Herrick, Dan Morera. Okay, then. Not sure what that's all about. But either way, these guys. Oh, you know why? Herrick's got damage. Left front wing's missing. He got a one-winged angel. And Morera, not sure. I don't see anything there. But so there it is. The career is over for Isaac Morse as he steps away and passes the torch to these guys and becomes the admin now for TI Racing as Robbie Oddie leads already by 3.1 seconds over Steven Larkamp. Did I tell you he's fast?
You have. Actually, I'm really happy that I got to see Isaac's final lap there. I got a chance to see another famous driver final lap, and I missed it. And
Stefan Gregoire.
That might be. Actually, I might have seen his last lap. I don't know, but if we get to story time later in the doldrums of this race, I'd be happy to tell you how I missed the final lap of AJ Foyt.
I will take off my wrestling jacket and sit on the mat to listen to the story.
Indian style, please.
I'm too fat to do that. All right, there's Cohen Evans there in the 17 car, running in the 4th position right now in the LMC car. Cohen, of course, the champion back in season number 2, our first season on the air here. And I don't want to warn Gary of anything. I don't want to wake him up for anything, but there's a light bulb I'm seeing in the back. It actually might be Joey Ladasur because I noticed he's having issues.
Yeah, Joey actually is a new signee for Black Cat. Luke Daniels brought him in.
Good cat, good kid.
Said that he was going to have a lot of time tonight. I said, hey, if you can make it, here's a car. Go ahead, turn some laps, do your best, and bring it in. That's all I asked. And he might be having some connection issues. I don't know. But, hey, that's getting some seat time, and that's all that matters.
Joey entered this series, and I had to go back and look at this. He started, obviously, he's ran over with my Captain TV League that obviously is a developmental series, and I'm trying to push that to where it pushes guys to TI and to VOR and to FIS if they want to race there and stuff. But Joey, as far as I know, and I could be wrong by this, has never ran an IndyCar until he got in our league, into that league. And he just went out there, he runs laps, he practices. He's actually a full-time dirt sprint car, but a modified driver.
Yep.
He drives the big blocks up in Canada, French-Canadian driver. And fantastic gentleman, fantastic guy to talk to. He likes to have a good time and stuff, and you know, I'm happy to see him here. He definitely, with the right development and stuff, and obviously in Gary, in your hands, he's got the right guy. He could be a winner in this series within about a season or two.
Racers are racers, whether they race on dirt and circles or strictly only on road courses. Those skills are tough skills to earn and to make a part of almost like a seventh sense or sixth sense that you have. So the fact that he's a driver of any type is going to help him here, especially I think maybe even with this new updated tire model with the Indy cars on the road courses, where the back end's a little bit more loose and you can power slide the car a lot without penalty. He might find that he can probably muscle it through the corners a little bit more than he was able to used to. Maybe it'll be a little bit more similar to the modifieds that he was riding.
So Audi leads right now 3.6 seconds over Larkamp. Kite Bommersbach there in third. Kite, a big win at Pocono 2 weeks ago for him. Good momentum changer for him as he has had an up and down type of season. He obviously he started his career off with numerous podiums in a row, and then it just seemed like he fell into that, maybe we call it a sophomore slump, but a little bit of a lull where basically he made little mistakes throughout the race and would just kind of have a bad run or something like that.
We're all human; it happens to both of us. But when the Triple Crown races are going, he is definitely a player there because all of his wins were Triple Crown races. Doesn't have the Triple Crown, but has two of the jewels in different years. So in itself, a non-direct Triple Crown is still a pretty good achievement. So if he can ever win Indy, he'll stack the deck there for himself.
Well, and I think that is a possibility for him to do. I mean, he's got the talent to do it, and I mean, you could argue that with Isaac stepping aside here, that you know, Kite could be the best driver in TI now. With just what he's pulled off. I mean, Cohen's up there. I think you could mention his name, and you know, just from the guys I'm looking at name-wise in the field, I mean, obviously Robbie Oddie, I think, jumps up to into the top 5 in that too. So, I mean, but experience-wise and talent-wise and knowledge-wise, Kite, I think, is up top.
Yeah, he's an encyclopedia. People say that I know a lot of stuff from him. Man, if I miss it, he definitely nails it in terms of IndyCar history and stats and stuff. So he is absolutely an encyclopedia. He's been on the service for an extremely long time, so he knows all, not just these Indy cars, but the 12 and the Aero 5 as well. That he is well versed, and when you talk to him about certain aspects of a car and how it handles, he's been around long enough that he's familiar with open setups. He can help you with that, but he also knows the fast way around a lot of these tracks.
And you see Steven Larkamp there following him by 3.3 seconds. Over Kite Bommersbach, he's got 9/10 over him. Cohen Evans is 3 seconds back almost there. And then back to Sam Blackwood as we continue to kind of talk about the future and stuff. This guy right here, Sam has had his ups and downs this season. I know he's one of your guys. Went out to Long Beach and shocked the world, so to say. Probably the biggest upset of the season, as he had a hard-charging Isaac Morris coming at him, and he held him off.
Yeah, he did. I think maybe Isaac could have maybe waited a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And maybe made another attempt at him, but he decided he wanted to go into turn one and side by side. And when he hit the brakes, the back end came around and allowed Sam to kind of scoot off into the distance and get his first win. But yeah, he did that with basically tire strategy. And I think he's playing it again tonight because he is on the prime tire at the moment while everyone else in front of him is on the alternate tire. So he might be trying for a Long Beach Part 2 tonight if he can remain close. And he's remained within, he's at 11 seconds right now, gap back to up to Audi. So he's a smart dude, and he does the calculations. I know he puts a lot of thought into these races. So if he's calculated all that and taken that all into account, we might see another what he just did at Long Beach.
The Part 2 Road Course Edition. So speaking of the champ, speaking of the winningest driver in series history, and Some might argue the greatest in the series history during the 5 seasons that we've raced here. Not that I've got to boost anything up anymore here, but he's earned it, and that kind of thing. And he's got himself his Monster Energy drink probably, and he's here with us now up here in the press box as Isaac Morris, the champ, 2-time champion, the only 2-time champion in the series history. Isaac, obviously, how was that lap? How did it feel to you, man?
You know, it was, I don't want to say it was emotional, but like it was just nice just to do one last lap with the guys, and you know, just be in the team chat with the boys, and you know, they were just like congratulating me, you know, and thanking me for all their help, for all my help, sorry. And you know, it was just nice. And as I pulled off into the pits, yeah, it was the cherry on top, you know. After how long I've been running in this league now, it just felt nice to have a nice end to it, and you know, just watch some good racing tonight.
Was it I was gonna say, was it the passing of the torch, so to say? Because like I've said this numerous times, and I've said it to you actually personally talking to you, that Robbie Audi has got some talent for a kid that's, you know, not even 18 years old, I believe, yet. And he goes out here, and I mean, he's got a 3.5-second lead over Larkamp right now. And as he learns the full racecraft, basically, could kind of be another you here in a couple years and be dominating this series.
Oh, for sure. Robbie's got bucket loads of talent. You know, he can be, you know, he could drive anything that he wants and be good in it. And you know, he puts in the time, he puts in the practice, and he hasn't been driving the IndyCar for that long. So to see someone just get into a car and start driving it, and you know, just be able to do pretty close lap times to, you know, to me is pretty impressive. And you know, he's definitely one to look out for in the next season if he can make the nights that we're running. But yeah, he's definitely got talent, and you know, if all goes to plan tonight, now I'm sure he'll be on the top step of the podium, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Touch wood. Don't want to give him the commentator's curse. But yeah, he's definitely one of those guys who knows how to control the car, and you know, he's come from NASCAR, and you know, it's a whole different you know, a whole different sort of ecosystem, and you know, the way that the car handles, you know, there's so much more to it. And yeah, he's really picked it up quickly, which is really good to see.
And Charles Baldwin is coming to pit road. We were watching that on the screen. 8.2-second stop, and Luke Daniels with a I don't know what the hell you want to call that, a beaten up car.
Luke said he talked to me yesterday. He says, "Don't expect much of me today." and I, you know what? When the track has your number, or track has your number, all it's going to take time is just practice time, seat time, and everything, and he'll begin to get that advantage back. But this has not been kind to him, and I just said, "Hey, do your best, bring the car home." And right now, I mean, if he hangs on for a little bit and maybe gets some other attrition in front of him, stay on the track, might work your way into a backdoor top 10. So that's I know there's only 13 people racing, so, you know, but still, you know, top 10, everyone goes a Sizzler. So,
and one guy's already occupied a spot. So,
yeah.
But man, this battle here, Larkamp and Bommersbach, we were just discussing this, Isaac. I think you could overhear our conversation, but. Two of the drivers right here, these guys have shown, I know Kite, obviously, since he showed up, has been a top driver, but Larkamp, especially probably the last half of the series, has really come to life.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Larkamp is, you know, a really talented driver. You know, he's in the Lionheart series, and he's with a pretty decent team, and you know, so like, you're not on a good team for no reason when you're in Lionheart. You know, you know what you're doing, right, when you're up there with the big boys. And yeah, when Larkamp came in Daytona, I'll be honest, I was kind of eyeing him up a little bit. I was like, who's this guy? And you know, is he going to pose a threat to the championship? But then after he made his mistake, I kind of knew then, really, like obviously, like, no offense to Larkamp, he's a great driver, but at that moment in time, I was like, okay, yeah, he's not really anyone to worry about. And yeah, Kite as well. He's been one of the ones I've really been watching this season because he's always there. He's like a shadow, and you know, you look in your mirror 1 second, he's not there, and then like 5 laps later, you look in your mirror and he's there, and you think, oh, certain words, and then
we have bleep. I think the word we use.
Yeah, and he's there putting pressure on you, and he's just another driver that can make a difference, and you know, I think he's scored majority of the points for his team this season, and he's, you know, I want to say he's been the one that's carried his team to what could have been a championship, and you know, with the way that things stand now, it is mathematically impossible for Kamagori to win the team championship. Sorry, Gary, but yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of drivers in the Discord that, you know, have loads of talent. You know, I heard you talking about Luke, and you know, Luke's another great driver. He just needs seasoning. You know, and I think he just needs to focus on the IndyCar. He can't be like swapping back and forth between cars, because that's one big mistake a lot of sim racers make when deciding what car they want to be using for racing. Like, you know, if you want to go for a downforce car, you know, you go for something like the IndyCar, Formula 1 car, you know, or an open wheel car. And you know, people swap back and forth from open wheel to sports cars to tin tops, you know. So and I know Luke does a lot of NASCAR driving, so you know, if he just solely focused on IndyCar, I could definitely see him being another driver that would be knocking on the door of podiums and wins.
I guess this is where I shouldn't admit that I brought Luke over from a dirt car / short track car and into this thing. So but Luke did say, when I talked to him first about it, when I brought the team in for one season, he you know, he had said he has experience of driving on road courses, and I was like, all right. And you saw it earlier this season when, I mean, he went out there and was getting top 5s at a podium, I think, one time this season, and was top 5 in points. It's like, oh yeah, he's I mean, you can see that he's got the talent around him, and I know he's connected with driver actually ran a couple races in the series last season, Austin Saar. He and Austin have kind of become good friends and sharing notes, and I know he's turned to you, Isaac, to get notes and learn things, and I know he said a lot of great things about your driving, and he's taken to heart what you have told him, and hopefully here in that next season or two, you'll see that stuff come out of him.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually for Long Beach for your league, Chris, where he was like, hey, can you know, run a few laps on the setup and just send me your telemetry? And I'm quite greedy. I like to keep my own telemetry, because my telemetry is my data, and you know, that's my information on how to drive and etc. Like where I'm on the brake, on the throttle, you know, all the important stuff to like help you go a little bit faster. And you know, to be fair, Austin did ask really nicely, so I was like, okay,
he'll do that.
I'll do 2 laps. But the thing is that I didn't really push myself to make it really fast laps. I just gave them sort of like a baseline lap to be working off, because you know, when you start, you know, trying your hardest, you bring out all your skills and all your confidence in the car. And you know, for someone who wouldn't have the skill, like, I'm not saying Austin isn't skilled, but like you know, there's definitely like a skill gap between me and certain drivers, right? And you know, showing them what a very skilled lap looks like to what an average lap would be helped him more, because I think he gained like 7 tenths around Long Beach by just looking at my telemetry before your league race, and yeah. So
Oh, Audi coming to pit road here.
Yeah, he was starting to suffer on those alt tires. Larkamp was reeling him in slowly, not an awful lot, but it was starting to. He got it well under 3 seconds, more around a 2.5 second range, and so he decided he's going to go ahead and stop here, get those tires off, and go with the fresh set. And we'll see if he sticks with the alts or goes with the primes.
So he's going to go 17 and 17, I assume, to get to the finish here, because you'll go 16 then to go to the lap 50 mark. Splitting it up into a two-stopper there. So Isaac, we're 18 laps into this race, and I know the three of us kind of know what's going on into the future, but do we want to talk about the future of TI IndyCar Series racing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to talk about it. Obviously, we've announced it into the Discord, but TI Racing IndyCar League. I don't actually know the name of the league myself.
I don't even know what the hell TI stands for still.
TI actually stands for Toxic Idiots.
Oh, that makes sense. That explains a lot right there.
But
it was cleaned up from TA.
Back.
But
anyways.
Yeah. So we're going from a league that can be considered kind of like a meme league, like you know, it's not too serious, but it's also like a good mess about, you know, like we can all go out, learn and stuff like that, or we can take it seriously and just, you know, go balls to the wall, Haley Deegan style, and you know, but us admins sat down and, you know, we came to an agreement that we need to, or if we want TI to go further, we want it to be more professional, have more structure, have just an all-round better feel to the league, and that's kind of what we're going for. So we're swapping the name out from TI to AOWRS, which stands for American Open Wheel Racing Series, and we're going to be sticking with the Indy cars, and you know, we've got a whole new schedule. We've got 12 round schedule, 7 road course and 5 ovals, including the Triple Crown as well, which Gary's actually going to be in control of. But yeah, we're really going for something that will help not only, you know, seasoned veterans, but also people from, you know, the lower categories of iRacing to, you know, get into a car and just either learn or, you know, just turn laps and just show up to a league that that can help them improve and just feel comfortable with within the community where they can just race and not be judged for what they're capable of.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the fun part, I think, about this when it gets going. You know, the fact that we're gonna see, you know, a good group of drivers, some young developing ones. Isaac, obviously, you're gonna be being the admin of the series and kind of running the show, basically. I think that's going to change elements too, because now you're going to have somebody who drives these cars for a living that is going to be kind of overlooking what everybody's doing and making penalty calls and that kind of thing. It's kind of like real life IndyCar or even F1 racing, where normally you have race stewards like Max Pappas or Ari Leindyke, I think, has done some drivers like that who have actually driven these cars. And that's no offense to Chris Lewis. I mean, he doesn't drive these cars much, so he's just going off of what telemetry and terminology he has to see what's going on and making calls. Where now, Isaac, you'll be there to make the calls that well, you've been a part of, and you'll be able to make what you feel is the right calls and stuff like that. So I think that'll add an element to the series. But then also, you know, going out and getting drivers to be a part of a league like this, and you mentioned a 12-race schedule. I guess we should mention what night this would be on.
Yes, so it's not 100% confirmed yet, but we are thinking of running on Thursday nights. But this does contradict with another league, and, you know, I've actually got in contact with the owner of that league to see if we can work something around it, because I feel like it's kind of rude, trying to run a league on a specific day that crosses over with another league. And you don't want any animosity between drivers and league owners as well, so you always want to keep a mutual respect for other people out in the community. And so we are thinking of running on Thursdays, possibly a Friday if there's nothing really on a Friday. So yeah, that's still in the mix at the moment. But the league isn't going to be starting until beginning of November, so we've got plenty of time to figure out a perfect day for everyone, and so it works for the leagues, the drivers, teams, and so
there you go. That's going to be a fun one once that gets going here in November. You saw Cohen Evans coming to pit road, so he has made his stop at lap number 21. So for him, obviously still a two-stopper, but looks like maybe that two-stopper, that second stop, might be more of a just a quick top-off of the fuel and move on from there. But Larkamp still has not pitted. Kites has not pitted. Blackwood and Lester, are these guys trying to get to that 25 mark to make a one-stopper?
It looks very much like it. I've been watching while you guys have been talking. I've been watching Larkamp, and he's been struggling a little bit at the front here. Those tires are definitely done, and I believe if they would have pitted, if their strategy called for an earlier pit, they'd be in by now. So I think they're going to try to make it a one-stopper, get it over with, get back on the prime tires, and go distance.
Which right now they're roughly a second and a half or so off the pace of their fastest lap. Larkamp was a 108.3 and right now a 109.6 the last time by. And Kite has been all over the gearbox of that car the whole entire time. So, they've been racing hard this entire run.
But I don't think that they're. I don't think that they're actually in combat with each other. They're in touch with each other, but they're not in combat. I'm pretty sure that Kite's like, you run your pace, I'm going to be right here behind you. Kite just might be actually saving some fuel, and when he hits a stall and they plug in to give him gas, he's probably going to get a shorter fill, and he might actually jump the position just by virtue of doing this. So we'll see. Ooh, he almost gets to the back of him right there.
That was very close.
Hey, you saw Larkamp kind of get a little bit of a loosey-goosey there.
They want to get off these tires big time.
So, Isaac, what's been your biggest feel of this new build? I mean, this is the second week of it, the first time on a road course. You guys actually took a week off and put a setup together for this series, for this race. What has been the big difference you have felt? I know it's been talked about the tires and the rear. Obviously, maybe, I guess, a lack of a downforce maybe in the rear now with the sliding around of cars. But just your thoughts there.
So there isn't a lack of
last second too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Isaac. I'm sorry.
No problem. I mean, there's not a lack of rear downforce now. It's more of a case of they've changed the Aero Balance. So just a quick 101 in how aerodynamics works. So you have so you have the air coming over the front wing. And then it'll go over the body, then over the rear wing. But the more downforce you have on the front, the more downforce you're going to have on the rear as well. So with the air coming over the front of the car, if there's too much downforce on the front of the car, the air won't reach the rear wing. So then the Aero Balance will be off and the rear end will spin. That's like a kind of like a short version of it. And so I think they've changed how much downforce you can have on the front wing now, and they've also changed the sidewall flexing. So the more that the sidewall on the tires flex, the more heat is put into the tire.
And your leader's in.
Yep. And so, look what the more unorthodox way of letting the leader go by. But continue.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit if one of my teammates did that. So
well, the one thing I did catch, did anyone notice that the slight over the line that Larkamp went on pit road there? As he got to his pit stall, he had to back up a smidgen get into his pit stall. So, and here,
Oh,
Kite just did the same thing.
Yeah.
So, mistakes happening here is going to help Audi. He's already actually undercut these guys to the lead. But this is where that strategy is going to come into play. So it's funny. I couldn't help, Gary, as I'm visualizing Isaac talking about this. I have to ask, Isaac, were you using hand signs?
Yes.
How did I know? I'm like totally pictured you with like your hand as the car and your other hand doing the downforce as you're talking to us.
Yeah. I'm a visual learner, so when when I'm talking things through, I've got to do it myself to make myself seem like I sound sane when I'm saying it. So, but yeah, the whole update, it makes the car feel amazing. It makes the car on the road courses feel like almost how you envision it when you're watching.
Hold on. Kite almost went off there. He did go off for a split second, but he holds on to it. Thankfully, there was that little piece of asphalt out there that caught him. No, he's still having issues.
Yeah, these black tires, they're a lot harder to get up to temp now after the new build. It takes about 2 to 3 laps for them to get up to temp, and I feel like that's going to be the make or break here for Kite and Steven to do that one stop, because if Robbie can keep up this pace, he can easily put up
off
their,
again.
Yeah, he is struggling big time with them cold tires. He needs to stop panicking, reset himself, and just hit his marks, because he's pushing before the tires are even up to temp, and this is going to cause thermal degradation, and he's just going to be taking more life out of the tires than he needs to be.
Which is interesting. You mentioned the word panic there for a quick second. Gary and I talked about this. Out of everybody, he's been on iRacing for a very long time. You would think that he would have the knowledge and maybe the experience to not let that happen. But even with this newer build, it almost places everybody back almost into a rookie category learning this thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. When there's a new build out, everyone's back to first grade, sitting in their desk learning everything again, and it is difficult. And you've got to reach out to people who are likely to learn things quicker than you, and try and learn from them as soon as you can to try and understand what's going on with the car, so you don't make the simple mistakes, and you can start pushing sooner, and just make sure that you can secure race wins by not making these little mistakes by going off or locking up the brakes on the cold tires, etc.
So Audi has a 13-second lead over Kite, who's got about a half second over Cohen. Larkamp is fourth right now. Sam Blackwood, your top 5, all of 18 seconds separating the top 5 in the field here, just past the halfway point in this race. And what has been a very entertaining race. A lot of great battling going on in the track. And, of course, Isaac up here in the booth with us now, joining us for this race after his one lap, basically his salute lap, we'll call it, or something. I haven't really come up with a name yet, but
because he ain't retired.
No, he's not retired. He's got so many other leagues he's got chances to go win championships in now. See VRR, but he is obviously going out here, and he's going to help see this league build, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it in the long run here, and it's definitely going to be a lot of fun here to be a part of here in the near future. So, but Gary, I mean, obviously we got 21 laps to go here. We've got a leader who has 13 seconds on the field. The delta is all of 33 seconds right now. So Audi is going to have to make a move here and make a decision really quick, because, and I'll let you two kind of discuss this a little bit, with the 33-second delta, that means Audi right now is looking at being somewhere near 5th or 6th when he comes back to pit road. Is the one stopper looking like the way to go right now?
If you're going to ask me, yeah. I mean, and then the simple fact is the
I heard somebody
nice
slide.
Catch. Nice catch, but he might want to give that position to Cohen. Yeah, it's a very simple rule, and the more that you're rolling and the less that you're stopped on pit road, the better you're going to do. That's just kind of how the simple rule has been taught to me. So if you could do it in one stop, which these guys have and been able to manage it, that's the way to go. What Robbie really needed to be doing is pushing and pushing on both these stints where he had those alt tires on to build up that delta, and he hasn't built it up good enough. He's still within that danger zone that when he pits and has to put on those prime tires, he's going to be in the middle of people that already have warm primes or warm alts, and they're just kind of going to get away from him for a little bit.
Isaac, your thoughts?
Yeah,
on that? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys before the race, and I was thinking, you know, like I was saying to them, I think the one stop is the way to go. Looking at the fuel consumption, because it's only like 2.8 liters a lap, which gets you 24 laps. So if you do a little bit of saving, you know, you can easily get that 25 laps to see you to the end. But you know, we all came to a decision, and Robbie, Dan, and Charles were like, okay, we're going to go for the 2 stop, and I was like, okay. I knew my plans. I was going to stop, and you know, I wasn't thinking about, you know, I'm going to let them. I was just going to let them do their own thing, and yeah, it.
Sometimes you got to learn from your own mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, there's this one guy at the moment that, you know, I think that would be a possible threat is Sam, because he's on the Reds and he's been looking after them. He's been matching Stephen, Kite, and Cohen all for the last few laps, and if he's really saving them Reds, he can be a real threat towards the end, depending on how well he's looked after them.
So let's compare Audie's strategy to Cohen Evans right now. Cohen pitted back at lap 22. So you're looking at him going 27 to 28 laps on a tank of fuel, which is impossible, I would think. I mean, it might be the end of the stint or whatever there. So let's compare that to Cohen, obviously, because Cohen's 14 seconds back and more than likely pitting for a second time.
Yeah, so I think Cohen made the wrong call there. You know, pitting on lap 22, he's given up, you know, 30 seconds for 3 laps, which could have cost him 1 or 2 seconds, right? So, you know, he's definitely drawn the wrong hand today, and he's gone for the wrong strategy altogether. And I'm starting to think that the TI guys have stuffed this up a little bit as well. And you know, if we're not careful, there's going to be a Kamigoye 1, 2, 3. But you know, as you said, we've got to learn from our own mistakes, and you know, I'm not going to be, you know, babying the TI guys next season. They're all going to have to figure stuff out for themselves. You know, if I'm running the league, I can't be looking over their shoulder as well. So, you know, I thought this would be a perfect race for them just to, you know, do things their own way and let them learn.
Well, that's where that kind of goes back to my dad. When I was younger, I remember, hey, how'd you learn how to swim? And he told me, yeah, Grandpa just went through me in the Indian River out in the near the ocean in Florida, and said, good luck. That's kind of what's happening here.
And Audie's on pit road.
Yeah, Audie's in. So, and this is actually a lap short of 17. So now he's going to have to go 18 laps on a tank of fuel. I wonder if he shortened up his stint there, you think, to maybe counter the fact that these guys are going one stop?
Yeah, and also as well, what he could be thinking about is the tire wear. Between him now, he's going to be on the fresh set, and you know, he was telling me in practice he was doing 108s on the primary tires. So if he warms them up properly, you know, he could be in real contention towards the end of the race. But he's only got 17 laps to do something about it, so he better do something quick.
He's got 15 seconds to. He had a great stop, 8.2, but he's got 15 seconds to catch here. So I mean, you look at it, that's basically a second a lap, and that's going to be very tough. Considering, yes, you do have Kite on the primes right now. You got Cohen on Reds. You got Sam on Reds himself. And as a matter of fact, Sam's got to look behind him because here comes Larkamp. And that's going to become an interesting battle there for third. So
actually, I believe Sam made the move.
He did actually, didn't he? I just thought about that.
Yeah, that is. He has now worked his way up, and he's going to put some little space between himself and Steven, and he's going to set sail here for Cohen.
Yeah, if I was Sam right now, I wouldn't really be focusing on Cohen because we know Cohen. Like, if I was in Sam's head, I would know that Cohen's got another stop to make, so I would just pace myself up to him. I wouldn't try and catch him over one lap because that just takes so much life out of the tires. It's unnecessary. So if he does a couple of tenths per lap, he's closed that gap and to Cohen and possibly to Kite as well. And again, it just puts him in good faith for the end of the race to secure a second win of the season.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you do that though when you know that if you look past Cohen, the leader's only 4.5 seconds ahead of you, and you have a legit shot to catch him? So it's like, how do you? I mean, yes, Cohen's got a pit, but how do you look past him right now?
I would look at the lap times that Kite's set in, and look at the lap times that I would be setting, and just try and set target lap times. Target lap times are a really good way to pace yourself and look after your tires. So Sam's last few laps have been in the 109s, so you can see that the tire life is starting to drop off a little bit now. But if he keeps up the pace, Kite's gonna start to drop off eventually as well, because the tires don't last forever. So if he's smart about it, he can easily be looking at being only a second or two behind in the last 10 laps.
So I just looked at the last lap times, and believe it or not, Robbie Audi was actually 3 tenths faster than the field on his first lap on the primes.
And he currently holds the purple lap at a 107.975 from one of those earlier stints. So,
well, let's face it, that was Isaac in that car, not Robbie.
Isaac without Robbie's login. Okay. But you look at the Kite up front, 109 flat, Cohen a 109.2, Sam a 109.3. I mean, 3 tenths faster, 2 tenths faster, and the closing laps of when you need to be faster. He's kind of showing him the door right now almost.
Hey, one thing I just caught out of the corner of my eye, we were on board with Kite there for a second. Did anybody notice the right front tire lockup as they're going in that right-hander, almost like it was off the ground?
Yeah, so with the way that the elevation changes are, when going through some corners, the car's going to be very heavy on one side. So, going up the hills with the right-handers is going to be leaning on the left-hand side of the car. So there's a possibility that he locked up the inside front just because there's no contact patch, and it's like skipping or skimming the stone over a pond. That's like a really good way of thinking about it.
Wow.
But one way to compensate for that is just be more gentle on the brakes, and don't be so aggressive on the transition of weight in the car, because as soon as the weight of the car is all to one side, the lateral load is just going to be killing the tires.
Hey, Robbie Adi's on pit road again. I thought something was wrong. I'm like, why is he falling back?
And
he's got no left front.
Yeah. Let's also remind people that these cars do not like to bend, and even though they do have suspensions, they don't travel very far. So when you have a lot of elevation changes, that's where you see that often.
We see what happened to Robbie over here on the screen. He missed that chicane there. It looks like that left-right here. He hits that curve, and it just sent him for a ride through the grass and over in that barrel. So that right there is one of those things, and just knowing Robbie for the short time I've noticed, Isaac, I think this is that moment where he's realizing, oh no, I'm not winning this race.
Yeah.
And makes it worse.
Yeah, and actually he's just gone off in turn 4, I think it is.
Did in the kitty litter there.
Yeah, and you see, like, it's these moments where, there's a saying, spin or concede, right? So you can either concede the fact that you're going to be losing the race, or you can push yourself until the tires in the car just give out and you spin. And I think Robbie definitely chose the spin option there and not the concede. You know, he was on for a P4. You know, that would have been a really good result considering,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, the amount of time he's been in the car. But, you know, now he's in P6 and, you know, he's going to be
We'll probably
really
finish
suffering.
9th or so, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, Kite's only 5.5 seconds behind him now, so, you know, soon he's going to be fighting, you know, yeah, to stay on the lead lap. You know, he's on the reds now, and I can see he's pushing, and, you know, I feel like he's going to be struggling with like 5 or 6 laps to go.
And I hate to be the guy that criticizes him like that, but it's like those are the things you see from my standpoint up here as a broadcaster that you catch. And it's like, and I learned that not only broadcasting, but I learned that just being the admin over on Thursday nights in the league that I help run. It's, you know, I've seen Audi make those same kind of mistakes. And it's like, man, if he could fix that I think that is his biggest obstacle. Is that right there, and it's more of a mental thing to develop, and maybe it comes with age, maybe it comes with time, that he's got to understand. All right, I'm finishing 4th. Yes, I have a winning car. Let's finish 4th. We'll take our loss. Let's move on, and there he just runs a fast lap of the race. So it's like, yeah, it's okay to go hard, but you got to know your right. You got to know your limit.
Definitely, yeah. So, as a driver, you got to know how much a car can, you know, what's the word?
Tolerate?
Yeah, like how, yeah, you got to understand the limit of the car, and as soon as you start questioning the limit of the car, that's when you're going to be making mistakes, you know, and that's when your confidence levels drop as well.
Right.
So, so, you know, like, you even see this in real racing.
That was a big lock.
Kite with a big lock right there. Yeah, that's gonna open the door for Cohen a little bit.
For sure. And again, like, see, like, little moments like that, you know, locking up into a corner. I can guarantee you now, the next time by that Kite goes into that corner, he'll be about 2 to 3 tenths slower in that sector just due to that corner alone, because his confidence levels now have dropped, and he's going to be thinking to himself like, okay, I need to be more careful. I need to brake it earlier. I know I need to get off the throttle a little bit earlier. So, you know, it's just like these little moments where, you know, your brakes lock up, or you have a little twitch on the rear end, or get on the power too quickly. You know, these are all sort of, you know, race-defined moments, and as soon as people can just, you know, push those little moments out of the way and just learn consistency and, you know, be repetitive with you know, the steering angle, and
and he took a wide angle.
Cohen is coming. I don't know, you guys. Cohen is coming. Last couple laps, I'm like, he's gaining. He just blew right by him.
He just kind of almost pulled over and just said, okay. But Cohen still has to stop.
You know
I
what?
think he knows that.
What did Cohen start on? I didn't get a chance to look. Did Cohen start on reds?
Yeah, he has not changed yet. He is on.
Okay.
So he needs to switch. So he might know that.
I was starting to wonder if Cohen was in fuel save. The way he caught him.
He can, but he's going to DQ himself.
Right.
He
so yeah.
Change the tires.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he can make it to the end on the tank that he's got. So I can probably predict he'll be in the pits within the next 3 laps at least. But yeah, it's
on pit road there.
Oh, who's got? I got the brats.
So what you were talking about, and kind of what we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, is where these cars, the races that iRacing puts on the official races do not encourage patience. They're little sprints, and they it's go 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 go. So the people that get into these cars, and especially a lot of the new European drivers that are kind of coming over with the Formula One mentality of push 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 every lap, it's almost like they're an analog switch. It's either on or off. And with these cars, you need a bit more of a digital switch where you're, you know, on, off, and then you have a little bit where you're kind of throttled back a little bit, but you're still performing. And like I said, these cars require patience, and they reward patience. That's the big thing.
Cohen to pit road.
Cohen to pit road, but they reward patience, and that's a lot of people don't realize that if you give these cars patience, they will reward you with good performance.
Oh, and oh, by the way, let's not overlook this as we go back to the conversation here in a second. Sam Blackwood's knocked that lead from 4.5 down to 1 second to Kite. He is coming. This is not over because Steven Larkamp's right behind him, 1.8 seconds back. It's going to make Isaac wonder if he should have got off the track 2 seasons ago. But either way, it's been fantastic. Now, I think another overlooked situation, too, going back to Audi really quickly, he's the only driver with less than 5 push-to-passes right now, and he has none.
Yeah, Audi was definitely doing an Edu Vila moment,
Yes!
just burning through the push-to-passes as quickly as possible.
When Isaac says that, Gary, you know we've got something.
Yeah, it's the running joke, and it's great. As long as Edu takes it in stride.
Now, I will say, when we were at the Pocono race 2 weeks ago, it's obviously no secret I was on the track running that race. How many times did I cue the mic and throw Edu Vila jokes out? Like, man, I wish I had some Edu Vilas back here.
8 laps to go.
Down to a half second.
Yeah, Sam, I could see this coming from Sam. You know, I said within the 10 laps to go, he'd be within that 1 to 2 second or 2 to 3 second margin, and he's done me one better, and you know, he's like half a second behind. His kite goes wide.
Sam was telling me a couple days ago, he was very happy about his win, of course, and he was telling me that was his first win in how many dozens or hundreds of iRacing races that he's been in. And league races, that is. And I told him all it takes is one to break the dam.
First one's
and
hardest.
After that, they're all going to come to you. And it's kind of looking that way right now. I don't want to jinx them. And we still have 7 laps to go, and Kite's a very capable driver. And I know they're all working together to a point, but I don't want to I want him to do his best here and see maybe if he can do it again. If not, secure that podium.
He just segued to my next question, Isaac. Let's put the owner of Kamagoye on the spot, because we're always putting Lewis on the spot here in this question. So what's the number 1 rule here, Gary?
Oh, number 1 rule of teammates racing: don't wreck your teammate.
Oh, so
Rule number two is you see rule one, and that's how you race with your teammates.
Any team orders?
As far as I know, and I kind of let them go with their own team orders because they're in their own channel, and I'm not able to help them with anything strategy-wise during the race. Basically, my only order to them is bring the car home. We often find that if you just simply finish these races, you'll do well. And that's all I said is don't push it, just bring the car home. Race the racetrack, don't race the cars around you.
I only bring this up
so they know.
I only bring this up, Gary, because, I mean, as a gentleman like you who picks on me for gimmicks, where I used to race, or where I still do race at times, obviously the gimmicks of road racing have team orders involved in it. I mean, I was wondering if we would see that out here potentially here.
There's team orders on ovals too, and if anyone, look how deep he gets into that corner right there near pit end. So he is right on him. So Steven. But yeah, team orders has been a part of.
Oh, he's coming. Here we go.
Here we go. He takes a defensive position. Don't force it. There we go.
So let me ask this question real quickly, Isaac. I saw this at a Barber race a couple of seasons ago. Is Kite really messing up this left-hander coming up here, or is he almost running a diamond?
It's difficult to see. I can go on the board with him quickly now, and so he does it really well that lap, but I think it's more of a case of, if you take a wider line through a corner, you can get on the power a little bit easier, and it just looks after the rears a little bit better. It's almost like taking the outside line on an oval. It doesn't require as much turning. You still can carry momentum, but obviously not as much momentum.
Sam.
But Kite has 9 to defend. Sam has 5. And Steven's sitting pretty good with 9 to attack.
That was quite an awkward spot to use push to pass in the middle of that first chicane.
Kind of also been a slip of the finger. He might have it ready to engage and just automatic. It's kind of a twitch there. Who knows? Which
was our initial diagnosis of Edo Vila. We thought he just had a button that he didn't realize he was hitting the whole time. But anywho. Yeah, it's kind of stabilized now 1 second, so you wonder if Kite maybe backed off on the prime tires and now is letting him come to life.
Well, now Stevens on the backside of Sam, so we might have a battle for second brewing now. And that might
here
allow
comes.
Kite to go wander off.
Kite gets a little loose.
Oh! That was a wide entrance from Sam there.
Not too sure if Kite has got some troubles. He's revving out the engine a lot.
Maybe a clutch issue or something?
Well, there's no mechanical failures.
Right,
in,
but I'm trying to think what would cause the engine to rev. You know?
Maybe he's too busy looking in his rearview mirror and not his LED.
Ah. So missing shift
seeing
points.
Yeah, it could be. He might just want to keep the gap close between his teammates. Like that there, he revved out way too long for
It looks
what
like
should-
it looks like Kite is a lot slower in the technical middle portion of the track, where like right about here is when he starts to struggle, and then when he comes out of the final portions, like after the last chicane, it's like that's when he stretches back out. Oh, lockout for both of them here, Kite and Stephen Larkamp.
Careful, fellas.
Nervous owner to my right.
Well, it's not like I have a bill to pay for damage.
Well, but I mean, when's the last time Kamagoya had a 1-2-3?
We haven't yet. So,
There you go. I think there's a little pressure here.
I believe there's only one team that's done that in league history. I think I was race first when they did the 1-2-3 2 seasons ago.
Indianapolis.
And Indianapolis. So make me look good, boys.
Oh, and there goes Sam off the track. He went four-wheeling. These guys are fighting it.
And I would imagine these tires are shot. They're just absolutely shot. Here comes Steven. He's going to take a look on the inside coming into turn one. Going to tuck back in. Not going to take that opportunity. Back up the hill.
Oh, no, Larkamp's got the run here to his inside, but Sam's going to be able to carry it with that outside, whatever you want to call it. I guess that would be a carousel type of corner.
Now he has got. Ooh,
that's that wide apex.
Locking him up a little bit there, yeah.
Yeah, Kite's blown away.
Both of them got a little squirrely on the backside there under braking.
Of course, we all remember the move that Graham Rahal made a few years ago at that corner.
Full send.
And then he made it this corner like a lap later.
Not quite like Grosjean, though, at the corkscrew.
Well, I mean, two-wheeling it. Excuse me, Jimmy Johnson.
It was more like, get out of the way, Jimmy Johnson.
In French.
Jimmy's like, well, 1 minute he wasn't there, the next minute he was.
Oh, there's Sam! Nice save.
Nice save, nice save. But I think that's going to pretty much seal up how these three are going to finish.
Yeah, with 1 lap to go, you know, I'd be thinking, okay, boys, let's just hold position. Let's not do anything stupid. You know, this is, you know, the last lap of the season. And obviously, like, I know these boys have been fighting for the team championship, but
going to put a big dent in it, but again, it's not enough math.
Now,
yeah,
I was going to say really quickly, I have to go back into my book. I don't have it like right here in front of me, but I believe back in season 2, when Cohen Evans won the championship, did Alex Van de Sant win the last 2 races of the season, which kicked off like a huge season for him in season 3? I want to go.
So, yeah.
I want to go back and look at that, because here's a very similar situation. He had Bommersbach have such a great start to his career, and in the middle part, it just had issue after issue, little mistake after little mistake, and then tonight was like the whole entire book in one race. He made a few mistakes. He looked good at the beginning, and he's looked good at the end. And for a second straight week, he's going to victory lane, this time at Barber on a road course. It's the Bommersbach.
And we will see you guys in the American Open Wheel Racing Series.
Say that a little more excited, Joe Buck.
yeah, it's a great achievement for the Kamigoye boys to finish 1, 2, 3. That's surely impressive, and you know, not often you get to see a team being so consistent, and there's 3 great drivers instead of a team, only having 1 good driver just carrying the team to the championship.
Now, this thing ain't over yet. Here comes Audi within a second right now of the Christmas tree. And into the final 2 corners. He tried.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I feel like Audi really threw away a P4 tonight, and that's gonna kick him for a while, I think. So yeah, it's unfortunate. But you live and you learn, right?
Well, boys, I'm going to let you do the interviews amongst yourself. I need to hit the jet and fly to Fontana, where I'm going to be broadcasting a pack race. So when you're done here and you're done watching the next Captain TV race, head on over to Race First and check out the FIS, where we are going to be at Fontana for 250 miles.
What time's that race start?
It's going to start here at 9.
Quick! To the Hendon Gary.
All right, guys, have a great one, and it's a pleasure having everybody up in the booth here, and it's been great. Ti is started a great base, but I think the American Open Wheel Racing Series is going to be better. So looking forward to it next season here, probably starting about 6 weeks. And anybody watching at home, feel free to join. Find us on iRacing, find us on Discord, and you can probably be a participant in the race next year or next season. I got to go. I'll talk to you guys later.
Here you go. That's the owner, and we're actually got the driver up here with us right now. Kite Bommersbach, we're going to talk to him real quick, as I actually got to get ready to go myself to the other broadcast. But, Kite, great job tonight, man. Congratulations. We were talking about it looked like your whole entire season in one race right there. I mean, you looked really good at the beginning. Then you started making some mistakes in the middle part. And then you just dominated at the end and pulled away and won.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what those mistakes were. I lost my audio, so I was running around just going off my shift lights.
Which would explain the light issue, Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a mistake early, and Steven jumped in front of me. And from that point on, I just put it down a lower fuel map and started saving fuel, and that was actually really, really good for me. At that point, I knew I was at a good spot, and yeah, I had that audio issue in the second half of the race that made it a lot closer than it probably should have been, but good fun nonetheless.
Yeah, it was a great battle out there, but obviously coming out 2 wins in a row to finish out the season, that has got to be some great momentum for you going into next season. Yeah,
looking really strong. Like I said, the goal here is to win the championship, and we came up 1 spot short this season. But next season's looking pretty good, and went into this past off season with a win, and going to go into this one with a win as well, a pair of them. So feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, as I say, the biggest obstacle might be out of your way now.
Yeah, it certainly happened today. That's for sure. But you never know who's going to sign up, and there's still lots of strong cars on track. Heck, I'm not even sure. There's days where my teammates are definitely stronger than me. We've got a pretty good team ourselves, so there's going to be a lot of good on-track competition next season. I think these 1-second finishes that you see on a day like today, you'll see some more of those next season, so be sure to tune in.
Did you feel like Blackwood might be having something for you there at the end, or was it just more you saving those primes?
Well, he was on that fuel save strategy from the outset. After a couple laps on the Reds, and being behind Steven, I realized that I could probably make that strategy work. Mm-hmm. He was definitely concerned at the end, but I think he got closer than he would have because I was fumbling for my cable to see if I could plug my headset in while I was driving. But he gave it everything that he had, and I guess something must have happened for him to finish 9 seconds back. But a really good fight, and a 1-2-3 result for the team. Locking out the podium. I think we're the only ones to do that this season, so that feels pretty good.
Yeah, you're actually the second team in history to do it. The first team actually we just talked about was Race versus Indianapolis a couple seasons ago. You guys have done it tonight. For the second time a team has done that. So congratulations to that. Shout outs, man, whoever you like to, Kite.
Of course, I want to give a shout out to you, Gary, and also for Chris for putting this broadcast on, and then just the whole team. Steven, Sam, Luke, and myself, and the others that have joined us this season. Like, we've worked together really well and come up with some good strategies to get us some good results. I know we're, if we're able to keep everybody kind of banded together, we're on the precipice of something. So it's, really looking forward to what we can do on track next season. And of course, if you're looking to sponsor a race team, we got 3 cars here on the podium. Come on.
There you go. Go join them. So great job, Kite. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So Kite Bommersbach, the winner here tonight. And Isaac, before we go, obviously, man, we appreciate your time, obviously, up here. Obviously, we appreciate all the fun that you've, let us be a part of for the last 4.5 seasons, I think it is officially. But we're looking forward to having you up in the booth, of course, and you're always welcome over here and ramble with us like we did tonight and have a good time. And I know you and I will be working well together in the future, bud. So great job, man. Congratulations. And, yeah, we'll see you next season.
Yeah, I'm excited to definitely get involved next season, and happy to say that you'll be staying on as our broadcaster as well. So
job security.
Yeah. Yes, I'm. A lot of planning has gone into this new revamp, and it's been under wraps for a little while now. Just trying to make sure that everything next season runs as smooth as possible.
Right.
We want it to be silky smooth. And we're potentially getting some professional, I say that in air quotations, IndyCar drivers on the iRacing service to be joining us. If not professional drivers, some big IndyCar names within the IndyCar community on iRacing, and I'm really excited that might happen. But yeah, next season it's going to be a whole new boat, and we're ready to sail away. So yeah, I really appreciate your time tonight, Chris, and it's always a pleasure talking and being up here with you guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight, and go enjoy the off season.
Hey, thank you very much.
You too, buddy. That is Isaac Morris, and I'm going to sign off and go get ready for the next race I have, which is starting momentarily. So we'll switch streams over to that, but make sure you check out TI Racing and what is going to be a new name, American Open Wheel Series, coming up next season and all. We'll keep you up to date and when that gets going in November. So with that said, congratulations, Kite Bommersbach, on the win, and congratulations, Isaac Morris, the champion, and TI Racing, the team champions of the series. This isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!